Just in, Zach LaVine disrespected by a member of Chicago Bulls organization. Major Chicago Bulls news today. Breaking news for Bulls fans. Zach LaVine has reportedly been disrespected by a member of the Chicago Bulls organization. What does this mean for LaVine's future with the team and the current dynamics within the Bulls? Tune into our latest video as we dive into this developing story, explore the fallout, and what it could mean for the Bulls season. Welcome to Chicago Bulls News, your go-to source for the latest updates on the Windy City's favorite team. We've got you covered with breaking news, trade rumors, and in-depth analysis of everything Bulls. From United Center to the front office, we're bringing you the inside scoop. Hit subscribe and let's talk Bulls basketball. All right, folks. We've got some major drama unfolding in the Windy City, and it involves none other than our two-time All-Star, Zach LaVine. Sources close to the organization have just dropped a bombshell, revealing that LaVine has been disrespected by a prominent member of the Chicago Bulls organization. This is huge news that could have massive implications for the team's future, so buckle up and let's break it all down. According to our inside sources, the incident occurred during a recent team meeting. Now, we don't have all the details yet, but here's what we know so far. Apparently, a high-ranking member of the Bulls front office, we're talking executive level here, made some comments about LaVine's role on the team that didn't sit well with the star guard. The source, who wishes to remain anonymous, described the comments as dismissive and bordering on disrespectful. Now, we all know that NBA players have thick skin, but when it comes to your value to the team, that's not something you want to hear questioned, especially from the higher-ups. Let's take a moment to remind ourselves just how crucial Zach LaVine has been to this Bulls team. Since joining Chicago in 2017, LaVine has transformed himself from a high-flying dunker to a bona fide superstar. We're talking about a guy who's averaged over 24 points per game for the last 4 seasons, made 2 All-Star teams, and has been the face of the franchise during some pretty tough rebuilding years. These numbers speak for themselves, people. LaVine has been nothing short of spectacular for Chicago, and he's still only 28 years old. So, to hear that someone in the organization might be undervaluing him? That's a big problem. Now, let's talk about what this means for the Bulls moving forward. This kind of internal drama is never good for team morale, and it couldn't come at a worse time. The Bulls are in a crucial period right now, trying to build on the promise they showed 2 seasons ago when they made the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. We've got to consider a few potential scenarios here. This is the worst-case scenario for Bulls fans, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. If LaVine feels truly disrespected and undervalued, he might decide it's time for a change of scenery. And let me tell you, there would be no shortage of teams lining up to acquire a player of his caliber. Imagine LaVine in a Knicks jersey, lighting it up at Madison Square Garden. Or picture him running the fast break with Luka Doncic in Dallas. These are real possibilities if things don't get smoothed over quickly in Chicago. Front office shakeup. Another potential outcome is that the Bulls ownership decides to make changes in the front office. If this incident is indicative of larger problems within the organization, we could see some heads roll. Remember, it wasn't that long ago that the Bulls cleaned house and brought in Arturas Karnisovas as the new executive vice president of basketball operations. If his team isn't properly valuing the franchise's best player, that's a major red flag. LaVine uses this as motivation. On the flip side, this could light a fire under LaVine. We've seen countless examples of players using perceived disrespect as fuel to take their game to the next level. If LaVine comes out next season averaging 30 points a game and leads the Bulls on a deep playoff run, this whole incident might be remembered as a turning point in his career. Now, let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. This incident highlights a growing trend in the NBA where star players are becoming increasingly vocal about their treatment within organizations. We've seen it with James Harden in Houston and Brooklyn, Anthony Davis in New Orleans, and even Damian Lillard in Portland recently. The modern NBA star has more power than ever before, and they're not afraid to use it. If organizations don't show proper respect and appreciation for their top talent, they risk losing them either to other teams or to a lack of motivation and engagement. For the Bulls, this is especially crucial. Chicago is one of the biggest markets in the league, with a storied history and a global fan base. But let's be real, they haven't been true contenders since the Derrick Rose era. LaVine represents their best chance at returning to NBA relevance. Losing him over something like this would be a massive setback for the franchise. Another aspect we need to consider is how this affects the team dynamic. Basketball is a team sport, and chemistry is crucial. If word of this disrespect spreads through the locker room, it could create divisions. Players might feel pressured to choose sides between LaVine and the front office. This is particularly important when we think about the Bulls' other stars, like DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic. These guys came to Chicago with the expectation of forming a big three with LaVine and competing for championships. If they sense that the organization isn't fully committed to that vision, it could impact their own commitment to the team. Now, let's talk about head coach Billy Donovan. He's been at the helm of the Bulls since 2020, and he's built his offense around LaVine's talents. If there's a rift growing between his star player and the front office, Donovan is going to find himself in a very tricky position. On one hand, he needs to support his player and maintain that crucial coach-player relationship. On the other hand, he can't afford to alienate the front office that hired him. Donovan's going to have to play peacemaker here, and how he handles this situation could have a big impact on his own future with the team. So, what needs to happen to fix this situation? Here are a few potential solutions. Public apology. The member of the organization who made the disrespectful comments could issue a public apology to LaVine. This would show that the Bulls value their star player and are willing to admit when they've made a mistake. Contract extension. If LaVine's current contract situation is part of the issue, the Bulls could look to extend him or restructure his deal to show their commitment. Increased role in team decision-making. Giving LaVine more input on team decisions, like many organizations do with their superstars, could help smooth things over. Team building. The Bulls could double down on their efforts to build a contender around LaVine, possibly by making a big trade or free agent signing to show they're serious about winning. So, what happens next? Well, Bulls fans, we're going to have to wait and see. The team hasn't made any official statements yet, and LaVine himself has been quiet on social media. But you can bet that behind the scenes, there are a lot of conversations happening. The next few weeks are going to be crucial. Will we see LaVine and the organization come together for a united front? Or will this be the beginning of the end for LaVine's time in Chicago? One thing's for sure, the eyes of the NBA world are going to be on the Windy City. This story is far from over, and you can bet I'll be here to bring you all the latest updates as they happen. Alright, Bulls Nation, that's all we've got for today. This is a developing story, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have those notifications turned on. You don't want to miss any updates on this bombshell situation. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. And let me know in the comments what you think the Bulls should do to make things right with LaVine.